All right. You know what? We already have 3 people watching. So I'm so excited. I know it's really exciting. There's so many people in our community that have told me that they're really looking forward to this interview. And I want to introduce myself because I know there's some people watching today that have never met me or worked with me. My name is Kiki Lovelace, and I am the owner and director of education here at my Pilates and yoga studio in Berkeley, California. I'm sitting in the lobby right now. And I'm also the founder and lead business growth mentor at the Thriving Studio Owner Program. It is my base level program, which Kris is now a graduate of, is a 12-week program. I teach my people how to double or triple their revenues working 20 hours per week or less. And today we get to talk to Kris, who has literally tripled her revenues in 7 months.
Yes.
And so welcome to Kris Batzner from Red Bloom Yoga in Michigan. I'm so glad you're here.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm excited to be here. This will be fun.
I know, so exciting. So yeah, so let's see. There's so much to talk about. And I just want to say, like, we're only going to have so long to talk about these things. So I really want to channel our discussion today. But I know people are dying to hear your story, Kris. You know, that I've told your story on, you know, the How They Did It graduate interview before. I've talked about you before. But, you know, to have these remarkable results of, you know, going from 4 years of about 5K in sales, taking home like anywhere from $0 to $200 a month, you know, something like that. So 4 straight years of that. And then in the last 7 months, by the way, anyone who's watching this on the replay, like, we're in COVID right now. So Kris entered the program like in February.
Thank goodness.
Right? Yeah, exactly. And so Kris has tripled her income during COVID, during the shutdown, during this online craziness, changing business models. It's been wild. And now is homeschooling her children.
Yes,
like many of us. So Kris, so like, I'd love for you to speak to, you know, there you were 4 years in, so passionate about your studio, your community was so appreciative, honestly. They loved your offering, and yet you were just bringing in $200 a month here and there. Like, what made you decide to even reach out and try to find a business mentor? Where were you back then?
So I think the motivator for me, I had been looking for a teacher for a while. Like, I was in that mindset where, you know, I'd started to feel like I was in stasis and I needed some new growth. I needed some new perspective. I needed a new guide. And so I'd been looking for a teacher of some sort, whether it was in yoga or whatever. And I could feel like I had done this for 4 years. I was successful. Like, I had paid all my bills. I didn't have any debt. Red Bloom was surviving. And my view at that time was we were successful because I wasn't going into debt and we were paying our bills. But I could feel that the potential was there for more. And having done that for 4 years, I was getting tired, and I knew this was not going to be sustainable for the long term, because I was giving all of myself and I was constantly there and constantly present and just giving. And I was needing something in return. And yeah, I got that community and that support and that feeling of really forming that community for our larger community and that safe space that everyone needed. But at the same time, I needed more than that, different than that. And I saw you on Facebook, I think, and I think it was one of your videos that you do, the welcome videos, the introduction videos. And it just spoke to me like, this is it. Like, everything you said just spoke to me. And I was like, this is what I've been looking for. I knew the potential was there. I just had no idea how to get it. And so there it was.
So the thing is that I really want to talk about here is like, you know, when you're making $200 a month, I mean, you know, and I know that my program and most business coaching programs are not small investments. Like, it's a significant investment. And for many of my mentees, it's the biggest investment they've ever made. It's a high 4-figure investment. They've never put some skin in the game and laid down some money on there. And especially when they've had 4 years straight of just like making peanuts. So how in the heck did you wrap yourself around taking that risk and making that investment and like really like telling the universe, like, I'm fucking serious about this?
Yeah.
Like, what happened inside your mind?
Well, I feel like it is a leap of faith, right? Like it's that belief in yourself and belief in something greater. And yeah, comparatively, the fact that if it was a good month, I had paid myself $200 and then making this commitment that was going to be significantly more a month than that on top of running a business like that financially, it didn't make any sense the way I was running my budget and the way I was like, I don't know how I'm going to pay for it. And so it was really a leap of faith. But again, it was that need. It was not even a desire. It was a need for things to change and a belief in my ability to step up to that next level and do what needed to be done. Like I was ready to do the work and make the commitment. And quite honestly, making a financial commitment like that held me accountable.
Yes. I mean, I think that's really true. Is like when you actually have some skin in the game, then you take it much more seriously and you pay attention more, you take action more. Yeah, it holds you accountable. Absolutely. Yeah,
I think I even said at the beginning, the proof is in the pudding, right? Like my goal was to just make enough to pay for you, and like when I was able to do that, then I was doing what I needed to, the program was effective. And, that's how I've always in my head is like, the proof is in the pudding.
Yeah. And so like I was talking to my husband about you over breakfast this morning and he was like, so how quickly did Kris have like her first 10K month? And I was like, I think it was like 6 or 8 weeks in the program. Like it was like in April maybe or something, or March. I
think it was March because we did the pricing change in April and that was like our injection. Cash injection was the last pass sales before the pricing change.
Yep.
And I remember, I think it was March because we had shut down the 15th of March and, everyone was up in the air. Who knew what we were doing? And we pivoted so quickly, thank goodness, because I was part of your team and like your training and we were able to like such support there. Oh my gosh.
So fast. Yeah.
Seriously. And that made a huge difference. And so then we debated on whether I should change my prices and stuff. And we did that cash injection of, okay, this is it. The passes are going away April 1st. And I remember, I think the last couple of days of March, I actually looked at my finances, like my income, and I was like, oh my God, I'm close.
I remember that. And I remember I was like, okay, let me give you this next little strategy. I remember in the last 6 days, like, do this, write this email. And then like you emailed me like later that week. You were like, we did it. Oh my God.
It worked. Yeah, it worked and more. Like it worked beyond. So
Yeah. And so y'all, I just want you guys to know. So we're talking about March COVID times, like Kris, like about 6 weeks into the program, Kris hit her first 10K month. By I think like June, you were messaging me that like you were at 12K. And then just last week or 2 weeks ago, when we were chatting about you coming into the mastermind, you were like, I'm on the verge of a 15K month. And so tell us what happened in August. What happened?
Well, so this August was really like, I used the summer to kind of play with all of the stuff I learned in your 12 week and really start to implement it and get comfortable with everything. And there's still a lot that I'm finagling and learning, right? It's constant. But like starting to really refine and formulate a lot of what I learned in the 12 weeks. And so I used the summer to really kind of implement that and structure it and practice it. And so I think that's part of what I started to see, because I remember, I think it was June or July where I was like, I'm not even doing it. Like, I don't even have any special events. And I'm already at 12, and like, I'm not even doing anything to get to there. And so now I'm sustaining that at that point. And then with August, that really allowed me to have that mind shift, that awareness of the importance of those larger ticket items, right? Like your 12-week program, things like that, because that, the underlying foundation work of the marketing and the mindset and all of that, everything you teach in that 12-week, the foundation of it really kind of set that up to be that sustaining, which my goal when I started, my goal was like the sustaining income, monthly income of 10,000. Because to me, that was just unattainable in my brain. And so I have that now, right? Like I've done that. And so now those bigger ticket items, which quite honestly is where my zone of genius, that's my passion. I love those little container kind of things. Like I've learned that.
Or like a coaching program, that kind of thing.
Yeah. And those big things are what really takes it over the top. And so I'm starting to understand the shift in that. And again, it's also a mindset shift in being able to formulate and show up and articulate and program those bigger pieces while this is still functionally running effectively and still, doing what it needs to do.
Yeah, and I've been finding, especially since COVID happened, the people that I'm attracting in the program are really interested in not only the volume offers that are like the low end offers, recurring revenue, like we all get that going as our base, but all of us are interested in some of these higher end offers, whether it's retreats or, like a coaching container or a teacher training. And yeah, I mean, when you price something at $3,000, you only need 3 sales to make $9,000, as opposed to you price something at $120 and you need that many more sales.
A lot more. Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So in August, my teacher training was my big item, right? And I did the whole thing where I told my social media person, I was like, we're going to push this until it's full. And we did. And so I am full, and I could take more, but I don't want to take more because of our numbers. Like the number I have right now, we can fit in our building safely. So I want to sustain that. But we have people on a waiting list now.
Oh my God, that's so crazy. That's so wild. So, and I don't want to minimize like all the little strategy pieces you put into place. Like you boldly raised your rates, even though it was COVID. You have done amazing things with your social media, with your marketing. You've upgraded all those things. You have like really discovered like how to put yourself in your zone of genius and your team members in there. So like you've done all these very actionable things, and yet I know you shared with me that the reason that you feel that you've had this like quantum success so quickly is because of your belief systems and because of the mindset work that you do now pretty much every day on yourself. Yeah. So can you tell us a little bit, like we want to know all the details of this. So tell us a little bit about like, what do you feel like have been maybe the 1 or 2 biggest mindset breakthroughs for you, especially around money, really, because that's been like a big thing you and I have been working on.
Yeah, I feel like, again, it goes back to that initial, what allowed me to even commit to this program, right? Like that belief in something more, and the belief that I was capable of accomplishing and attaining that something more. And the thing that I think supports everything else, all of the changes, like you said, all of the work I've done, all of the changes that have happened with Red Bloom and all of this comes from that underlying understanding that it is work. Like, my husband always says, you make this look easy. Like, we make this look easy, but it's not. It's a lot of work. It's a constant showing up. It's a constant like getting dirty and the gritty, nitty gritty kind of muck and kind of swirling it around and dealing with what comes up. But then that with money in particular, understanding that it won't come to me. I need to ask for it, and that I have every right to ask for it. I've said this too many times. I am a good Midwestern girl, and we don't talk about money, right? So that was a big barrier. Like if you don't talk about money, you can't ask for money. And who am I to ask people to pay, $3,000 for teacher training? And so like working through that and understanding that I am valid in what I offer, and I have the right to ask for money to come in. And it's amazing how when you really like just let all of those stories and limitations go, and you just are like, yeah, I want to make 15 grand a month. I want to make 10 grand a month. It really, I don't want to just say it really just happens, but like that clears the way for you to understand how to make that happen, I guess is a good way to say that.
Yes. I feel like there's so many points you're hitting on that I just want to like pull out and highlight. Mm-hmm. So one of them is you keep talking about self-belief. And this is one of the biggest things, is that many times when I'm talking to somebody who might want to come into my program, that is like what I'm sizing up. I just am like trying to ascertain, does this person believe in themselves? Because if you don't have a high level of self-belief, there's no coaching program in the whole damn world that's going to help you pull you out of your muck. Like it's like, it really is. And honestly, people don't even take the risk to get the help and the support that they require if they don't believe in themselves. So that's like a huge piece. And yeah, I love how you're talking about like claiming it. Like it's about owning your worth, owning your value. And it's also about like saying out loud, I'm calling it
Yes.
a 15K month. Let's go, rather
Right.
than I want to make more money,
Right.
It's like it's
Well,
very specific. Yeah. What do you want to say about
yeah,
that?
well, and I even think about when I started the program to that $10,000 month, that first one to now, when I started the program, like the first week we do is that, money mindset, and we set up our mantras and all of the kind of goals and things like that. And even my approach to that first week or two was, oh, it would be really nice if I made $10,000 a month. But like even that, like, oh, it would be really great if I had financial freedom to not have to worry about how much money I'm spending when I go buy my kids' school supplies or clothes, like those little things. But it's different. And then that first time I did it, I was so surprised still. So that mindset was still there, even though I was saying the words and I was doing the work, that mindset of, oh yeah, it would be really nice. And then, wow, really, that happened? I can't believe I did that. That's still that limitation. And now it's like, no, this is what's going to happen. Like I can see that transition, at least in myself. And that changes my perspective, like I don't meddle around. I don't mess around with this anymore, and not that I messed around before, but I didn't have the belief, I guess, to even stand so firmly in that.
Oh,
And
yeah. And I've been talking to the mentees lately when I know you're going to
yeah,
come back into the circle in like a week or two, but
yeah, I'm so
I've been
excited.
talking to them a lot about strengthening your beliefs to the point
Mm-hmm.
of like, it's as sure as the sun rises and the sun sets.
Yeah.
Like, that's what we're going for, is that level of strength. Because when you have a belief of like 15K, 30K, 50K, 70K, 100K months are not even possible, like it's happening, like it's
Yeah.
going to happen, then it's true. Your decisions are different, your actions are different, your curiosity, you just kind of get curious about it, and it actually starts getting really fun. Like it's actually
Yeah.
like, well, this is interesting. Let me see if I play with this, what will shift.
Right. Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and I think about that too, as I'm looking at, and we talked just a couple of weeks ago about me entering the mastermind program. And like, I look back to when I talked to you about entering that 12-week program, and like, I totally had that panic up leveling moment of, holy crap, what did I just do? How am I going to do this? And now I'm like, we're taking that up level again. And yeah, there's that in my head. But at the same time, I'm like, no, I've got this. I know I'm going to make this work. And so it's such a different place that I'm in. And, we can talk about it financially, but it's everywhere. Like that falls out to everything you do and everything you present, like who you are.
And so, okay, one last little thing. I know you've shared with me in little bits how this is affecting your family, like,
Yeah.
and just how, like, obviously financially it's affecting your family, to have this much more money coming in, but also like you mentioned to me that like one of your kids was like, Mom, that program, like what the heck just happened when you were at the mall? So can you share just like, what do you feel like this has lifted or shifted for you, or is kind of like changing the fabric of things in your
Yeah.
family right now?
So, I am always a budgeter. I've always been a budgeter, whether I've had enough money or not. Like I've just always been a budgeter. And I think it's that Midwest, right? Like we are prepared. And when like I think it was, I don't remember when it was this summer, but we went shopping, and I've always said to my girls, they want these, kids, they want everything, right? And they want the big things and they want the little things and they want it all. And I've always said, well, we can't afford this, but we can afford this, or let's talk about how much this costs compared to this, and the priorities, and having those money conversations. And the one day we went shopping, and I don't go shopping really. And I hate it, but we just don't anyway. But then having that conversation, I was like, fine, we can have that, because we'd been in quarantine for so long, and it was just like, yes, let's just get ourselves something. Let's go do something fun, get out, and be safe and stuff. But like, let's just do this. And I'm not even going to say like, yes, let's just do this. And we were driving home, and I said something how it was nice to get out and shop and get out and do things. And my oldest was like, wow, this program, like this training you did really has changed you, has changed things. Like, she's like, you didn't even talk about how much it cost or anything. And I'm like, yeah, I know. And we've had those conversations about how nice it is to be able to just do that. Like, school has just started for our girls, and we needed a second Chromebook because both girls are online all the time. And so we just got one. We've completely obliterated all of our credit card debt. So we have no debt anymore except for home and stuff like that. And, just, it's a completely different perspective. And for me, my idea of financial freedom has always been, not that I have like $1 million in the bank or anything. It's just that I can go out and spend money without having to, in that moment, worry about if I have enough. And so I've reached that, and it's kind of cool.
That is just so amazing, Kris. Thank you for sharing that. It's awesome.
Yeah. Well, thank you.
Yeah. Oh, are you kidding me? It's like my deepest honor to serve you and to serve your family, and honestly to serve your community, because I know that this $15,000 in sales per month equals $15,000 of transformation. Like, that's what's actually happening to your community. So to me, it's like, this work that I get to do with my people gets to ripple out, and it's just so deeply satisfying, like
that gives me goosebumps. I love that.
It's so big. It's so big. So yeah, thank you so much for sharing your story. I mean, I want to say to all of you guys who are watching, and there's so many people watching, thank you guys all for being here, that I am accepting new clients, and I've actually just cleared my schedule for a few hours each morning of the week, like Tuesday through Friday. So I have my link here already in this bio, and then I'll put it in the comments below, but it's a business breakthrough call. It's a 30-minute call. You'll hop on the phone with me, and we will talk about what your blind spots are, what your challenges are, both strategy-wise and belief system-wise, because we'll be working on both of those levels absolutely together in our work together. And then if we both feel that it's in good alignment, we have a good rapport, we have good energy together like Kris and I do, then I may invite you to be one of my mentees I take on this month. So I'll put that link in the comments. And Kris, if any of these folks who are watching want to check you out, want to see what you guys are doing, can you tell them where they can find you online?
Yep, you bet. It's simple, Red Bloom Yoga, RedBloomYoga. We're on Facebook, we're on Instagram, and our website is just redbloomyoga.com.
And where in Michigan are you located?
Mount Pleasant, right in the middle of the Mitt.
Awesome. Middle of the Mitt.
That's what we do.
Oh, I know. I went to the University of Michigan, so I know all about
that. Yeah, you totally know that. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, thank you, Kris. Thank you so much. And I'm
thank you, Kiki.
Back into the mastermind. We're going to start working together, I think, 2 weeks. So yeah, that's great. Awesome. Have a great day. Bye, everyone. Thanks so much for joining.
Bye-bye.